A warehouse worker walks in for their usual shift. Fluorescent lights hum above, conveyor belts churn, the air smells faintly of cardboard and machine oil. But something is different today. At their usual workstation, someone or rather something has taken their place. It is not a coworker, not a trainee. It is a robot, humanoid in form, agile in movement. It bends, lifts, and moves with eerie precision. No fatigue, no hesitation. Its name is Digit. It doesn't ask for breaks. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't speak. It just works. And just like that, a job once done by a person is now done by a machine. This isn't a concept video. This is happening right now. So the question is no longer if robots will take our jobs. It is which jobs they will take first and what happens next. Should we be excited or should we be afraid? Because this changes everything. Meet Digit, a bipedal humanoid robot developed by a company called Agility Robotics, spun out of Oregon State University. Digit isn't a science fiction fantasy. It is currently offered to select enterprise customers and pilot programs designed to operate in human environments. It walks upright, it balances dynamically, and it can handle tasks that were once considered too delicate or too variable for robots to manage. It stands at 5 foot 9 inches, about the height of the average worker it replaces, and weighs around 140 pounds. Its hands aren't human-like, but they are strong and smart enough to grab, sort, and carry. And most importantly, Digit is not confined to a lab. Amazon has already started deploying Digit in its fulfillment centers, testing it in real-world warehouse operations. Its job, picking up and moving plastic totes between stations, a repetitive, physically taxing task previously done by humans. But unlike a human, Digit doesn't call in sick, it doesn't get injured, and it never asks for a raise. And Digit is just one of many. Tesla's Optimus, Sanctuary AI Phonics, Boston Dynamics Atlas. These machines aren't here to entertain, they are here to work. And soon they might be working right beside you or in your place. To understand why this matters, we need to go back. In 1961, General Motors installed the first industrial robot, Unimate, on an assembly line. It was large, bolted to the ground, and could only follow rigid instructions. From there, we got robotic arms, conveyor systems, and CNC machines, revolutionizing how we build cars, electronics, and everything in between. But these machines had limits. They were fast, but not flexible. They didn't adapt. They didn't think. Then came the AI wave, computer vision, reinforcement learning, real-time sensor fusion. Suddenly machines could see, they could react, they could learn. Boston Dynamics showed us robots that could dance, jump, even parkour. But they were still lab-bounded showpieces until now. The missing piece was brains, not just hardware, but cognition. And that is where large language models like GPT, Gemini, and Cloud come in. For the first time, robots can be taught using natural language commands in controlled settings. Pick up the red box and place it on the shelf. While this doesn't eliminate all programming or retraining, it represents a major shift. We are no longer programming machines only by code. We are beginning to communicate with them in new ways, and that opens the door to jobs we never thought machines could do. Let us talk about the job Digit took. In a warehouse, workers move totes from station to station, often walking miles a day, lifting heavy loads, and repeating the same motion hundreds of times. It is exhausting, it is injury prone, and turnover is high. So, from a corporate perspective, replacing that job with a robot makes sense. But from a human perspective, it is personal. That job might have been someone's first entry into the workforce, a stepping stone, a livelihood. Now it is gone, replaced not by someone better, but by something cheaper. And it won't be the last. The types of jobs most at risk aren't necessarily the most advanced. They are the most repetitive, the most predictable, the most automatable. And we are only just beginning to realize how many of those there are. Let's be blunt. From a business standpoint, humanoid robots are a dream come true. Labor is one of the biggest operating costs for any company. Wages, benefits, training, safety compliance, it all adds up. Now imagine replacing a $40,000 per year worker with a robot that costs $100,000 once, works 24/7, and doesn't need health care. Suddenly the math becomes irresistible. That is why Amazon launched a $1 billion industrial innovation fund. It is why Tesla is pouring resources into Optimus. And it is why startups are rushing to build the future workforce in silicon and steel. Because for corporations, the decision isn't emotional, it is economic. And in a global market obsessed with efficiency, the cold logic of automation is winning. Some still argue that robots are only replacing bad jobs. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Automation doesn't stop at warehouses. In 2023, McDonald's began testing AI voice bots at drive-thrus. Do not pay. The AI lawyer contested parking tickets with zero human involvement. Hospitals are piloting AI nurse assistant to handle patient inquiries and triage support. And yes, there are humanoid robots being trained to greet guests, patrol security zones, and even operate coffee machines. A recent McKinsey report estimated that up to 800 million jobs worldwide could have at least some tasks automated by the end of this decade, roughly one-fifth of the global workforce. This is not a distant threat. This is a present reality, slowly tightening around sectors we thought were safe. When we say robots are taking over, we don't mean killer machines. We mean quiet replacements, no uprising, just obsolescence. Not everyone sees this as a catastrophe. Elon Musk predicts a future where robots do all the work and humans live in leisure, supported by universal basic needs. Some economists argue automation will create new roles, ones we haven't imagined yet, just like the internet did. Historically, technology has displaced jobs but created new industries: photography, aviation, software engineering. But here is the difference now. Robots aren't just doing physical labor. AI is encroaching on cognitive labor, the very thing that made us humanly replaceable. And if both our hands and our minds are replaceable, what is left? The ethical questions get deeper. Who owns the output of a robot's labor? If a robot causes harm, who is responsible? And perhaps most haunting of all, if machines become better at being human, do we still need humans at all? The robots aren't coming. They are here. In warehouses, in offices, soon in homes. We can't stop the tide of automation, but we can choose how to ride it. This moment in history demands bold thinking, reskilling workers for tech-forward roles, rethinking education to focus on what robots can't do: empathy, creativity, critical thinking, regulating AI and robotics in ways that protect dignity, not just profits, experimenting with economic safety nets like UBI. But most importantly, we must stop thinking of this as a tech problem. It is a human one. What kind of world do we want to live in? One where machines serve humanity or one where humans serve efficiency? That choice is still ours to make. A humanoid robot just took a human job. It won't be the last. The question isn't whether the machines will work for us. It is whether we will be ready when they do. Because progress is inevitable. But how we respond, that is still up to us. If you want to stay one step ahead of the machine age, subscribe to Mechonomix. We break down the technology shaping your tomorrow, because the future belongs to those who understand it before it arrives.